realized I had that stupid grin on my face again, visiting Arles in southern France, so I figured I'd capture it. Getting that stupid grin on my face again. Bonjour mes amis, bienvenue en France. Aujourd'hui, je suis en Arles. Today, I'm in Arles, in France. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. Or specifically, I can't seem to get my mouth around how to pronounce it. It's basically Ar. Like, a lot of the letters are redundant, the way they pronounce it. Anyway, it's a gorgeous town. It's a fantastic town. And I'm walking along the Côte de Rhône, right? Like the banks of the Rhône River. And, you know, just such an amazing city. I've had a wonderful day. It's not even over yet, but it's been really wonderful. What have I done? Well, I spent a lot of time with a big goofy grin on my face because everything's been super exciting. I went to see the Forum, the ancient Forum. Went to see the amphitheater. I went to see the underground of the Forum. I've wandered all the way through the city. It's been pretty fun. And I don't know where the city gets off being as pretty as it is. You know, like I keep going to these places like Seville, Cordoba, Avignon, Arles, and they just keep showing their beauty. And of course, this is a typical southern French town with that Provencial architecture that I can't get enough of. I don't understand why it's so pretty. Someone needs to explain that. Like, I mean that from, like, I'm quite serious. Like, I mean that from a design standpoint, right? Like, it's like, why is it so pretty? Yeah, I've just been enjoying wandering around. It's been a little cold. I know my friends in Canada could care less about that. That's not, it's not really cold. But it is, well, you could probably hear the wind. And it has been a little chilly today and cloudy. It's gotten a little dark. But if that sounds like a complaint, it is absolutely not, because this is kind of the perfect temperature, because there's like no tourists here. None at all. Like me and like 6 other people. And they're so smart with their tourism too. So they've created these walks. I should have investigated a little further, but I wanted to do a little bit on my own. But they have these walks, and it's very specific to different eras, which of course makes sense with the history of Arles, because it's, you know, an ancient city. Again, you know, just like all these other cities that I'm visiting, you know, it at least comes down to the Romans, right? Which is why they have the amphitheater here and the Forum. And it was it was the capital of this territory in Roman times. It was the capital of Provence. It was its own kingdom, the kingdom of Arles, which I think they changed to Burgundy just because they were tired of trying to pronounce Arles. Hope that's not offensive. It's just a joke, just a joke. Anyway, like it's been around. So the tours show like the walking tours, the self-guided walking tours are suggested based on era, right? So there's the Roman era, or ancient era, the Roman era, the medieval era, I forget what they call it, but more like the Renaissance kind of era, and the 18th century. And of course, there's some modern art too. I did manage to make it to a modern art show or a museum, because that's what the Vincent van Gogh Museum is for. And the thing about Vincent van Gogh is he spent a few years here painting on in fact, just down there. And another walking tour that you can do is you can walk to the sites of where he painted some of those masterpieces. And they do have one Van Gogh in town, and I went to go see it, which was kind of interesting. Um, and yeah, it was just, I went to see it, and it's in that modern art museum. And I was very upfront with them, like, I just really want to see the Van Gogh. And they're like, yeah, but I got to charge you full price. It's like, yeah, that's worth the admission. It's fine. Speaking of which, definitely need to buy the city pass if you come here, because it does get you into all the museums and all the places. I made the mistake of buying a couple of individual tickets until I realized. And I think it was funny because when I went to the crypts of the forum, the lady that was at the desk there was like, "What are you doing? No. Are you going to these places? Okay, here, buy a city pass. It's 12 euros. You buy them individually, they're basically that same price, right?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she started pointing them all out on the maps, and the one that I bought allows me to go to 4 main attractions and then 2 museums. But you can buy I think the 15 or 18 euro package will let you go to all of them. That's your best deal. And they're all very, very close together. So they're easily walkable. There's one just outside of town. But other than that, very, very easily. Like I've been wandering around. I made it to most places. Al Alchamp, no, Alcamp, Alzicamp. God, I'm supposed to know French. Anyway, that was another. It's a ancient burial ground, or a cemetery with a church. It's supposed to be haunted, and I was able to wander through there too. Also, a location for, or a painting location for Vincent van Gogh, which is really cool. So longtime followers will know that I'm a sucker for finding the locations where artists painted their great works, and um, I've rarely found my own. It's usually like from the advice from other people, and in this case, it's from Tourism d'Arles. So in Arles, Vincent van Gogh stayed for a good long while and painted some great works down here. And I've been walking the circuit, going from one painting site to the next. And this one is in the Arles Camp, which is basically a cemetery. And this was the view. This is where he painted this great work. So right there, he would have been just above the trees so that he could get those trees, which are probably the same trees, judging by their sizes and stuff, and painted what you see out there. Pretty cool, right? I love this stuff. Now, tonight, after I take this video, I'm going to go down the other way, down this path, to find where he painted Starry Night. And if I do well, I'll be able to do that at night and take a nice nighttime shot. Or maybe I'll edit this out of the video if I didn't make it to do there. But this town is amazing. The only downside that I had about coming here was I actually kind of envisioned staying here instead of in Avignon for 28 days. It was really, I chose Avignon over Arles because, just because the train would get there at a reasonable time. And you all heard how tough it was to get that train. So if I were to take to make it a little further, might as well not, right? Make it easy on myself. So I figured I would save this for another time, just like Cordoba, actually. I had that same decision. But I can't resist. You know, I've seen the pictures, I've done the research, I've looked into this place, and I love it. And I couldn't stay away. I just couldn't. And I'm so glad I at least visited here because it's so cool. Because yeah, like I'm wandering. Okay, so there's the beauty of the river. There's the old, you know, uh, um, 19th century buildings, and then you just wander past this big bridge that takes you out of town. But right beside it is an old castle. You know, it's so cool. It's really a cool town. So much history, so many different parts of history that you can just by wandering around town you can participate in, and I love that part of it. Right, this is why I do this stuff, is, you know, to be immersed in this history, and it's all around here. And you know, whether you're walking into a church, going into a cloister, going into a Constantine bath, although it was closed by the time I got there, but I've since read it's not actually a bath. It's not a functioning bath. It's more of a, you know, old ruins. So I'm probably going to have to shower later. So it's a bad joke. Anyway, I'm at the end of the river. So I should probably just finish up then and just say I am having a hell of a time. A lovely time. You know, show you some modern art while I finish off here. Yeah, I don't know what to say. You know, it's a beautiful town. It's an amazing experience. I'm very happy I did this. These towns are beautiful, and I feel better for having seen them. Does that make sense? Anyway, obviously, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're planning your own adventures. If you don't want to go to Arles, figure out some other place to go, because travel is enriching and the experience is fantastic. So with that, I will say au revoir, à demain. I hope everyone has a great evening. Good night. You know, I came into this cemetery because I thought it'd be interesting. There'd be great photos, and I wanted to see how different, you know, a cemetery in France would be. But I've actually been quite moved. Very quickly, you realize that all of these are family plots, like family tombs, and some of them date back to the 1800s. Some of them, I'm guessing, a little further. And it's just families, you know, joining each other in generations and resting here. Uh, it's very moving if you think about it. Yeah, very, very cool. I don't think that's an insult, but it kind of looks like it.